Hello everyone, my name is Timothy Lee Grant, and yesterday I attempted to memorize this problem. It is number 105 on Leetcode, and so I'm trying to test out this theory about a method of learning Leetcode because I've been struggling for a very long time. I've been not making much progress, and now I'm trying a different method of going and targeting in on specific problems and really honing in, understanding how to do the problem, what the problem is teaching me, and then once I am able to really understand that individual specific problem, then moving on to another related problem, and then trying to see how those two problems are related. So abstracting the concepts out a little bit. So yesterday, or actually 3 days ago, or about a week, okay, I tried to do this problem without looking. I had never seen this problem before. I just tried it. Failed. Okay, so then yesterday I tried to look at it again and see, like, okay, try to memorize it. That was the first step that I was going to do, is try to get it where I can at least solve it and then understand, like, why it's doing the way that it's doing it. Okay, so yesterday that's what I was kind of doing, is trying to memorize it and also go through, like, okay, well, why is each line of code the way that it is? Now today what I'm going to do is I've given myself 24 hours and it is time to look at this problem again, see if I can solve it. Does my memory hold up? And if it does, then that indicates that, okay, now it's time for me to go and try to fully dive into this problem and figure out what are the concepts in it. If I'm unable to, okay, well, now I need to go back and figure out where were my mistakes, what concepts do I still not understand, which lines of code did I fumble on, etc. So that's the way that we're moving forward. So let me make myself a little bit smaller and let's look at this. We are given preorder and inorder lists, okay, and we want to build the tree. So the way that we're going to do this is, I know that this is going to be a recursive call, a recursive function. And what was the base case? The base case is when we don't have a root. And what is root in this case? Root is going to be this element here, right? And where is this? It is the first element in the preorder. So preorder always gives the root, okay? So in our base case, if we don't have anything in the 0th element, we know that we've kind of hit that limit. So if not preorder, okay, then what do? Return none. Okay, so now we know that we do have at least a root. Okay, so let's create that. So root is equal to tree node here. And now we want to pass in this value. So the value is found at the 0th element in preorder. So preorder 0. And actually, I think we need that value. So val is equal to this. Like that. And then I'm just going to put in val here. Val. Now I remember we need to find index. Okay, so index is going to be equal to, and I'm kind of just saying I remember. That's fine for right now. If I remember it, then that means that, okay, that does indicate that it did stick in my memory. It does not mean that I understand it. So that, again, is something, even if I press submit and it has that green check mark, that that's not the end of this problem. This problem, I have a lot of understanding to do, but I remember that there is an index. I remember that it is, and I have to think about it for a little bit, but hold on. What is index? This is going to tell me like where in this where this tree splits. So I want to know where this root node is relative to the subtrees, like left and right. And where can I get that? So preorder immediately goes bam, bam, right? So bam, 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 like that, okay? Inorder is going to give me where it splits. So it comes here, and I don't process this 3 yet. So I come here, bam, okay, bam. Notice each time I did a bam, it was in, once I had already gone down the left, and now I'm going down the right, okay? So that's like in order, right? It processes it in the middle of its left, process right, okay? And so the node is going to appear when I have finished all of my left children and am now about to go look at my right children of that node. So now I want to find, okay, so I'm looking for 3. I know that that's my root. I want to find in this in order where that 3 is. So in order dot index of val. So I'm going to look for that. Okay. So now I know the location at which it splits, the left and the right. Okay, so now what do I want to do? I want to attach my left and my right. Okay, so I want to find left and right. So left is equal to self.build tree. Okay, and this is the difficult part. I want to pass in the preorder. Preorder indexed by something, and I want to pass in the in order indexed by something, okay? And now I don't want to just capture left, I want to add that to my root. So I want to keep attaching roots and their lefts. Same thing with roots and their rights, okay? So then another thing that I need to think about, actually let me keep writing all this stuff down. So another thing that I need to think about is with these left and rights, let me make sure that I actually write. I know that it has something, I know, like, I can say the words that, oh, that it's building the tree up. Okay. But how is it actually building it? How are the connections being made? I know that the connection is being made right there between the top and the bottom, right? Between the children here. I know that that connection is being made, but I need to convince myself of that. So convince myself that the recursion actually builds the tree. The recursion actually builds the tree. Okay, that's one thing that I do need to do. Now, I know that I also return root. So that, and now root has a left and a right, and then I return that back up, and then that's connected here. Okay, I think I see, but I need to convince myself of it. Now the part that I am worried about. Okay, so what are we actually passing in here? So I have my preorder, and this is my left. Okay, so left, I want to pass in the other roots. Is that correct? Let me try Inorder. Inorder is where it splits, right? So I want to pass in this right and this. Okay, so see, I'm still very, I still don't know how to do these. Okay. So Inorder is going to tell me where it splits, right? And what do I want to pass down? I want to pass down a shrunken version of my Inorder. And in this case, so I want to pass down the left version of this. Okay, and now Inorder is going to be 3. So I'm not going to have this. Inorder is going to be this one. Sorry, no, it's not. It's going to be 9, 3, 15, 20. So 9, 3, and I would just want to pass in that 9, right? Yeah. So that's going to be the 0th index all the way up to my root. So 0th up to my root, which root is at index, and I don't want to include index here, because I don't want my root. I don't want to pass in my root as my subarray of the left tree. Now I'm going to try to get my head around this one here. So what do I want to do? I want to pass in the left or the right subtree, which is this. So what's that going to be? That's index plus 1 all the way to the end, right? Because that's where the tree splits, is the index, which is the index of where the root is in the Inorder traversal of that tree. Okay. So now let's try to find the preorder. Okay, and I need more coffee. All right. Now let's look at that preorder. So, what do I want with the preorder? Preorder is the time in which I see it, right? I immediately process it. And the 0th element is always going to be the root. Okay, so this 9 is going to be the root, and this 20 is going to be the root of the right one. So 9 is going to appear in my preorder. It's going to be the first one, and I want to keep doing my first one. I want to keep going. So preorder is going to be all of the first ones are all going to be so the first part of my preorder, all of those elements up until index But index is the 0th, right? Yeah, no, so that was wrong. So I want to cut off this first one because I don't want this preorder. Or, sorry, I want to cut off the first one. Because no, 3 is the first one. It's 3, then 9, then 20, then 15, then 7. So what that means is I want to cut off this first one. I don't want the 0th element. So I want to start at 1. I don't want the 0th element. And how far do I want to go? I want to go however many elements there are in my left tree. That tells me how many. Okay, well, yeah, so that tells me how many nodes there are in my left tree. And all of the left children are going to be in my preorder list first. So let's say that there was more nodes down here. Okay, I'm gonna have 3, 9, ba 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 ba, and I'm gonna get all of those. And then once I'm done with all of that, then 20 comes. So my left children are always going to be in the first section of the array. The 0th is going to be the root. Then the other ones are going to be the left children. And then after that is the right children. So I want to pass in the left children. So what does that mean? I start at 0 and then I go all the way how many elements there are in my left tree. Now how do I determine that? That was why we did this, we got this index, right? This index tells me where it splits. And so I'm able to come in here and then I'm able to come in here and look at how many to skip index, because that tells me, index tells me it goes through all of the left children and then to the root, and I know where the root is, and I need to find out how many elements are in here. And that's index non-inclusive, I think. And now this one should be index plus 1 all the way to the end, because I want the next element after I find all of these ones. And then I want index is going to be the root. And then I want the next one. And because the start is inclusive, that's why I do that. This index is the root, but I don't want that because it's non-inclusive. So I can put it there. I don't do the plus 1 because I do want to not include that. Okay. Should we press it? Let's press run. Let's see. No network. Oh, come on. What's going on? Okay. And yeah, they want me to log in. Okay. There we go. Hopefully this is the one that I just created. Let me just copy and paste this. I have it in my clipboard, so it should. There we go. Okay. So let me press run and let's see if it works. Come on. No. That sucks. All right. That's like so disheartening. Okay. Well, now we have to go back to the answer. Go back to the answer, look at what I did wrong, try to figure out that before I can even start. Okay. Darn. That I was really hoping that it was going to work. Honestly. Not solutions, submissions. Let me come here and just submit it. It's going to be wrong, but that's fine. We just wanted that history. Okay. So what is going on? I'm guessing it's something to do in here. 1 to index plus 1. This one's correct. This one is correct. This one is correct. Oh, why? Why that one? So I'm going to do this. I'm going to press run and make sure that that's come on. Plus 1, run. So there appears to be no other problems in my code. Okay? So it's that. But I don't understand why I need to do that plus 1. Okay, so let me think it through about why that would be the case. Why do I need to do that plus 1 there? So I got this one correct, right? I don't want to add the 0th element. The 0th element is the root. No, the 0th element is the root. So I want to go, I want to pass in all of these. So it's like, okay, I think I see why. I think I see why I can't articulate it right now. Because this is non-inclusive, and index, like for example, index here for preorder is going to be index is going to be here in my Inorder, so it's 0, 1. Okay, so index is going to be 1. Okay, and then I have my first, now preorder is going to be 0 and then 1, and I want to include this node. So I do that plus 1. So because I do want to include this one. Okay, and then I come here and I have my let's see, 0, what am I doing? 0, 1, 0, 1, 2, and I want to start at this one, and so I pass this one and everything else in there. Okay. But I got everything else correct. So now I'm going to try to think about how it builds this up from root. So I pass in a root. No, I don't pass in root. I only pass in 2. So at the beginning, there's nothing. Okay? At the beginning, there's nothing, and I only pass in 2 lists. I create a root. Okay? And then I go in and find all of its left children and all of its right children and attach it to the root and pass that back up. Okay. And then I'm going to go all the way down, and each time I grab that subtree below and attach it to myself. So that's how it's going from bottom all the way up. Okay. So these are the things that I need to think about and try to contemplate over and over and over. Think about it before I'm about to go to sleep. Think about it while I'm walking, right? Wherever I have some free time to just let my mind wander, I need to be putting this in my head. These ones I need to also figure out how I can think about those better. Okay, so the result of today is I still have problems understanding this. I still am unable to identify where, okay, so what does that indicate? That indicates that I have a misconception in where, maybe it's not even a misconception. Maybe it's not even intuitive feeling. I'm not very comfortable or familiar with the order in which the pre and in order will occur. When I'm given a graph, I can just show you, right? Like preorder, here, 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 here. I can tell that to you. But now trying to contemplate it, what does it mean? What's going on? Maybe that's what's causing me to be tripped up on these. So I'm going to be trying this problem again. I don't know when, maybe tomorrow. And we'll see if I'm able to get it that time. Okay. Yeah, I think it will eventually, if I spend more time with the problems, I should be able to eventually get it. And then I will be moving more on to trees. So I'm going to continue to try to do these trees and just learn this topic, understand and get good at this topic, and then we can move on to more topics. So we have trees here, and then maybe we can do either backtracking or graphs or whatever we want to do, right? So that's the path, and hopefully we'll improve. If you would like to join me in this journey, subscribe to this channel. That would be awesome. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day. My name is Timothy Lee Grant, and see you. I'm gonna film a video right after this. I'm doing my Java project, so I'm gonna do another video after this. But I'll see you in a Leetcoding video tomorrow.